Hi, everyone, and welcome to another TYCOP mentor interview. Today, we're going to be joined by one of my coworkers, Nathan Hill. Nathan and I have actually kind of known each other since high school. We went to the same high school together, but for the past 2 years, we've been working at OFNTSC, or the Ontario First Nations Technical Services Corporation. So today I'm going to be asking Nathan a couple questions about how he got into his career. He's currently working as a fire safety coordinator and infrastructure specialist with the OFNTSC. And just to give you a little bit of background about the TYCOP project, TYCOP stands for Technical Youth Career Outreach Project. And what we do is we share information about technical careers for First Nations youth, just to help them learn a bit more about what's out there, things that they can do with their job journey, their education paths, and help connect them with mentors such as Nate, so that they can have somebody helping them along the way. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. Nate, could you tell me a little bit about how exactly you ended up in the field that you're currently in?
Yeah. So I started working for OFNTSC as a summer student in 2010. And prior to that, I attended Mohawk College and completed a 2-year construction engineering technician program. With that, I learned a lot about buildings, construction, things like that. And as I was here as a summer student, and after that, I completed that and remained on as an infrastructure intern in 2011, and they haven't been able to get rid of me since. I've stuck around. I left for 2 years in 2015 to 2017 and worked for my home community of Six Nations of the Grand River in the housing department. I'm very fortunate to have had that experience. And I joined the fire and safety program in August of 2020, using my experience in regards to building fire prevention and building construction.
Nice. What, I guess, initially made you consider a career path in construction, or kind of more of a technical career? Had you always had that interest as a child, or?
Yeah, so I learned pretty early on in high school that the biggest investment in your life for most people is a house. So in order to take care of that investment, in order to take care of yourself in that investment, I wanted to learn how it's built, how they're put together, and how to maintain it. But over my course of my education and my work experience of over 10 years, I'm comfortable to say that I've learned a little bit in that regard. And I've definitely noticed that I've always been a big supporter of safety, and it's always been something that's important to me. So I think that's the biggest thing that's led me to kind of combining those two in regards to home construction and fire.
Yeah, perfect. Could you tell us a little bit more about what an infrastructure specialist is? Somebody like myself, I don't have a technical background, might not really understand like the full scope of what it is that you do with the infrastructure specialist program.
Yeah, so as an infrastructure specialist, I'm assigned to a number of First Nation communities, and probably the biggest responsibility as part of that is completing inspections on residential construction. So whether that's new construction projects, renovations, or conditional assessments of a unit that's already being occupied by somebody. And again, identifying deficiencies to applicable building codes, whether that's the Ontario Building Code or the National Building Code, recording those, providing those to the community in a report, and completing inspections again once those deficiencies have been rectified. Also, as part of that, there's a number of reporting requirements that the First Nations are responsible to complete on any given year. So part of my responsibility is assisting those communities with those reporting requirements and making sure all that information is up to date and current, and that they submit those reports on time and that they're accurate.
Oh, wow. That's great. Quite interesting. We'd love to definitely, follow you around for a day and kind of show people what it is that you do a little bit hands-on. So do you do is it just housing inspections, or do you do any like school inspections, office buildings, that kind of thing? Okay, we just had a slight technical glitch, but I was in the middle of asking you if it's just housing inspections, or do you do any other buildings like schools or office buildings or anything like that?
So sometimes in the infrastructure specialist role, they will provide advisory on those other buildings. Definitely in my role as the fire safety coordinator, I have a certain level of training to provide advisory on the safety and floor areas of those public buildings, and accessibility requirements that may be required as part of those public buildings that are separate from an individual dwelling unit or a townhouse or duplex or something like that.
Right. So, just in terms of, we're trying to help First Nations youth understand the careers that are out there and why they might be interested in taking that. So I was wondering, for yourself personally, what's the most kind of rewarding thing about your job, or what do you enjoy most about this field of work that you're in?
Personally, two things come to mind. And the first one is, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of interesting and fantastic people in my time serving First Nation communities. Realistically, I would not have had that opportunity otherwise. Like I said, I'm from Southern Ontario, Six Nations of the Grand River. I've been fortunate enough to travel to dozens of First Nations in Ontario. And the other part of that is being able to see some of the most beautiful places in this province. Something that comes to mind off the top of my head is going to Tamagami and Bear Island, taking a boat to this island where people spend their lives all day. I would not have had that opportunity otherwise. And that's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, I can't wait till, COVID's over and we can start traveling again. So it sounds like, would you say that this is kind of a good line of work, doing the infrastructure inspections for somebody who doesn't really want to have a desk job or work in an office? Like, do you get to, work with your hands and that kind of thing? Is it more a bit hands-on?
Absolutely. I think it's definitely a good blend of both. Something that kind of comes to mind off the top of my head is a lot of my family, being from Six Nations, are iron workers. Very tough, very labor intensive job. And it shows. It's hard work. It's hard on the body. So I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunity to sit at a desk and use my mind, but I'm also able to be on site, see what's being built, what's being done. There's definitely that kind of on-site aspect to it, in addition to the desk part. I think it's a fantastic blend of both.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't always want to do just kind of working in an office. Some people want to get out more. So it's good to know that if they were to pursue this kind of career, they'd have that option. One of the big aspects to the Technical Youth Career Outreach Project this year is our mentorship. We've added a whole mentorship component. And I kind of wanted to discuss with you throughout your career, throughout your journey, your education path, did you have any mentors who really made a difference in kind of the success that you've been able to achieve so far?
Absolutely. I think I've been fortunate in my time to definitely have supervisors and managers that have been very supportive and very encouraging in my development throughout my career. They know who they are. They know what they've done for me. And in addition to that, I've been able to work with some fantastic people here in my time at OFNTSC. And again, I wouldn't be where I am if not for some of those people mentoring me along the way, whether they know they did that or not. Again, some of those people, they know who they are. They know how thankful I am for their time and for their again, encouragement. And if I can do that for anybody, I'm on board. I think it's very important.
Yeah, that kind of was going to segue actually into my next question of like, what are you most looking forward to about kind of returning that favor and helping to be a mentor to other First Nations youth who, might make a difference?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is maybe opening some eyes and seeing that it can be done. Like it can be, you can go and get an education and pick up some training and help people from your own community or from a community you're not even from. It doesn't always have to be someone coming in from off the reserve. You can make a difference in your own community. And again, if I can make that kind of connection for someone, then I think that's important.
I think I totally know what you mean. It's a powerful message to be able to say, I think for Indigenous youth to see somebody who's like, the same as them in those roles, it could make a whole world of difference. And seeing what the possibilities are, because they're endless, right?
Exactly.
You can do anything you want. And I think we just need to let people know basically that these careers are a great option for so many different reasons. What advice would you give to a First Nations youth who's maybe, just starting out high school or not sure what they want to do with their lives yet? Because it's a lot of pressure at that age to have to make those decisions. So any advice for them?
I think the biggest thing is to find something you enjoy, not necessarily that you enjoy doing or that you enjoy every day, but find something you're interested in, find something you like and pursue it. It might not be for you, but you don't know until you try. If there's a problem that you always come up against, maybe there's a solution in education. Maybe there's a solution in training where that you can help people through those problems. And just keep trying, right? Keep at it, keep going. It may not always work the way you think it will. It may not always turn out the way you want, but you don't know until you try.
Yeah, for sure. Getting a little bit more into the fire safety side, because I know that's relatively newer for you to work on. What are, I guess, some of the most important things that you think, maybe First Nations communities need more? Do they need more firefighters? Do they need more fire safety officers? That kind of thing. Is there anything you would encourage youth to kind of pursue in terms of that area?
I mean, again, if it's something you're interested in, absolutely, right? Not every First Nation in the province has their own fire department. So if they do, and that's something you're interested in, it's something you can definitely look into. In addition to that, what I would say is that regardless of what path you go down, regardless of what career you're in, fire safety is important for everyone. Wherever you work, whatever workplace you're in, wherever you live, fire safety, those practices are important. So to keep that mindset and to keep learning, to keep that knowledge base, I think is vitally important.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think, Nathan and I have been working a little bit on some of the communications materials we're going to be putting out for fire safety. So definitely keep an eye out for those. We've got some, facts that are going to be going on social media, some info sheets, and a couple videos as well. So hopefully you'll see those very soon. But I just wanted to say thank you so much, Nate, for joining us. It's, we're really glad to have you on board as a mentor. And if anyone wants to talk to Nate, ask him a few more questions. If you're interested in either the infrastructure specialist or fire safety, Nate is your guy. He can help you and answer some questions and hopefully, guide some people and in their journey, in their educational journey. So any final words at all?
I would just say thanks for having me. Thanks for your time. And for anyone watching this, test your smoke alarms.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, Nate.